Take a seat, sir.
Where?
Sir. I'll have Avengers on my side.
I'm always happy with Batman.
Right, well, this is a new idea for us. We're going to look at 2 blockbuster films and...
We're going to fight them off against one another.
Fight them off. So, on the table today, on my side, is the Avengers. This isn't through choice. Cheers.
We can both make points for either side.
That's
right?
true, right.
And then we've got the Dark Knight Rises. That's my terrible handwriting.
There you go.
There you
Okay. Okay, so are we going to start with negative points or positive points first?
I don't know. We'll quickly. Right. Well, I would say, first of all, can I jump over to your wee Avengers?
Absolutely,
here,
get involved.
First, good point for Avengers, right?
Right.
Joss Whedon.
He's not directing it, is he?
Huh?
He is? Right.
And
he's famous for
Buffy and
some obscure
Firefly
TV series
that
about
didn't
some
work.
guys in space. Yeah.
Right, I'm a massive Firefly fan so for me, I think that what he did with the film Serenity is he did what George Lucas didn't do with the prequels, which was that there's a bit of heart in there and he developed the characters really well.
What he also didn't do is make shitloads of money.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
So, bumps up.
But
Critical
Avengers,
acclaim?
but I'd rather have critical acclaim than shit acclaim.
That's fine. No, absolutely.
So that's the first point I would say. Joss Whedon's a definite positive for the Avengers.
Okay. Definite positive for The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
And Gary Oldman, of course.
I watched Following for the first time the other night, his first film.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it was okay, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was really great for a first film.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, there's nothing compared to
What's
his later
everyone's
films.
so fucking cynical these days? You know, like, no,
Can't
I'm
say
not
s-
meaning you
You
specifically.
can't say shit.
But it's like, I'm talking about like other, you know, like people that have like maybe made like one film on YouTube and they're like, oh yeah, you know, Christopher Nolan's gonna crack. And it's
Aye.
like, yeah, not before
But
you.
the thing with Chris Nolan is that he's like...
Set himself up
loads
for a fall.
loads of people still love, like, Memento. But I've always said that I don't think it's the strongest film. I think he's got better and better. The Prestige was amazing. Batman Begins was excellent, but The Dark Knight was phenomenal. A really great crime thriller, I think, showed people how to do like a superhero film in a completely different way. And then Inception, for me, is just one of the best films of the last 20 years. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Structurally, you know, visually, just in every single way. A big budget film that was also intellectual. So that's Chris Nolan's definite plus.
Definite plus. Should we do a negative next then?
Right, I'll go for negative Avengers.
Right.
Right. Who the fuck is Hawkeye?
Hawkeye was an original Avenger.
I know, but
The thing is, you're right though.
Do
This
you know
is what we
what?
were talking about,
Yeah.
right? With Hawkeye and Black Widow, they're just humans and they look so fucking horribly outclassed.
Yeah.
That bit at the end of the film where it's meant to be the money shot where all the Avengers are gathering round, right?
you get this
And
huge-
the Hulk's fucking muscling up. He's just going, oh, I'm gonna fucking tear some guys apart. Iron Man flies down. He's like, right, let's get ready. Captain America's standing there. Hawkeye's going, right, I'm gonna put a fucking arrow in my bow. And then Scarlet Witch should be in it, but let's not gripe about that. I will in a minute. You know, Black Widow's loading up her pistol, and you see this massive, big, fucking metal dragon fly down. You're like, good luck, Scarlet.
Aye.
It's
Just use them as a diversion.
It's really just an excuse.
Let them eat the humans.
That's right, I know. Iron Man's fucked off. But it's like, I mean, the thing is, that it's obviously just another, you know, excuse to get Scarlett Johansson in a jumpsuit, which I've got no
But
problems with.
the thing I heard though about the Avengers, right? And I've just realised that you've spelled the Avengers.
Avengers, yeah. Because I'm going to jeer at this film.
Is that I heard one rumour which was that Scarlett Johansson was only she had quite a small part in the film.
I hope so.
But they've really beefed it up.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, because she was there in Iron Man 2, and obviously they established her character there. Hawkeye established his character in Thor, right?
Minor, like
Very,
really minor.
very minor. That was just a little nod to what was coming in the Avengers. And I'm not saying these characters don't have their place, obviously, within like the sort of comic book world they do, but everybody is there to see Captain America, Thor, the Hulk,
and Iron Man.
And Iron Man.
Iron Man. Domestic duties are no chore for this man.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so like...
Iron Man wouldn't be any more out of place than the Scarlet Witch when they fly down and he's got, anyone got some extension cables for my irons.
Pans round all of them, some guy in his Y's with an iron board.
That's like,
oh, fuck!
Oh, I can still see it, that's fine.
Sorry. We've just lost our light.
Our light in my absence.
Our light didn't...
oh, fuck!
Exactly.
Smashed this thing down here. Fuck, carry on.
Has it?
Yeah, carry on.
Geez.
Sorry for our lack of professionalism.
So, yeah, so I think that... I think by when I'm saying who the fuck is Hawkeye, right, the main thing here is that when you've got an ensemble piece like this, I think it's going to be so difficult to have so many characters anyway. See if it was just Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. See, even just the four of them, that's difficult to get right in a film. But then to add in Hawkeye and Black Widow, and we're forgetting as well Nick Fury.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So
I think it's almost like they think that because they had these own films, that they've had an Incredible Hulk film, they've had the Iron Man film, and they've had Captain America film, they obviously think they don't need to flesh out the backstory for these characters. But have they not always said that the mark of a good film is that it can stand alone from any other part of the series? And I suppose it probably will in a way, but you probably won't have any depth to the characters.
But I'll tell you something, I think that's why Joss Whedon was hired, because when he made Serenity, if you watch that film, yeah, it has its flaws, right? But in terms of coming off the back of Firefly, you can watch. I watched Serenity first before I became a fan of Firefly, so you can watch it, and then it establishes it gives you all the information you need about who these people are to continue with the story, and you can enjoy the film. And I think that's probably why Whedon has been hired, because he's done it before, and they're thinking, right, he can probably make something which has a bit of heart to it and establishes each of these characters so that people don't need to have... Because that's a big ask for your audience. We want you to have seen these 4 previous films, you know?
And the Incredible Hulk one was a remake of... What was Edward Norton's excuse again for not wanting to come back?
Well, he as far as I remember, he basically took control of that film, and I don't think they were too happy with him. I think it was some result. I've not seen it. I will say something. No, a lot of people hate it. I quite like Ang Lee's Hulk. There's a lot of things in it that I like and admire. I think the score's fantastic. I think I really like the casting for the most part. I think it's much better than people give it credit for, and I think it's just that it's literally a comic book movie. Yeah. More than probably any other film ever made. You know.
Right, so anyway, we should probably get back into Dark Knight
Rises.
So a point, criticism, Catwoman. She looks fucking good.
Write it down.
2, right, Catwoman. I'm trying to think of something witty. Fuck off. Catwoman, me... Oh, could you do that? Do that, right. She's fucking... It's a shite, right. I mean, obviously I have a massive love affair with...
Batman.
Well, he comes through my window and he's, don't tell anyone.
Then makes love to your sweet
I got you in your special place to stop crying. I'm taking for drugs.
Swear to me.
Sorry. It's okay. Yeah, so basically...
Hey, I'm wearing hockey pants.
The Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman is just she's sublime. Yeah. That's a fucking amazing performance.
Batman Returns is an amazing film.
It is. And like I was saying the other day, they told him the only reason he came back is because they said to him, you can make a Tim Burton film rather than a Batman film, and it really does come out. But yeah.
People go and watch Batman Returns if you haven't watched it. it's an immense film and was misjudged at the time.
Absolutely. But yeah, horrible fucking outfit for Catwoman. And I don't rate Anne Hathaway very
high. I don't, but where did you stand on Heath Ledger though when he was cast as the Joker? Because there was a lot of people that were like, no, I don't see it, and then he ended up being amazing.
But I still think Heath Ledger's Joker's overrated. Ooh, controversy!
Ooh, do you? Really?
Yeah. I think he's good. I think he did a good job, but Jack Nicholson is still the Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker was something very, very different. He took it and ran with it in a different direction, and he made it more of a psychopath type thing. But obviously the fans would have gone nuts for it, but I almost think that he shouldn't have had the paint.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
If he'd had the scars, could have dealt with that, right? But if he hadn't had the paint and still had the weird dress sense, I think he would have been better. They tried to kind of make him look a bit like the Joker.
I loved it. I thought he was fantastic, but I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I think
never rubber, never Orange Rhubarb.
I think the 1989 Batman film is like the way Batman was originally envisioned. You know, really. It's that, and Bob Kane was around and on the set and all that when they were making it.
But he also loved Batman Forever. And when he was on the set, he said, "This is how I envision."
Yeah, but don't. Anyway, let's. I agree with you about Catwoman. I don't think she's an incredibly strong character within the Batman universe. You know, I know a lot of people like the whole thing that she's kind of a vigilante, but she's good and bad at the same time. She helps Batman and then hinders him at other times. But I agree with you. I was hoping that someone else would be involved. Okay, for the Avengers then.
Another good point.
Another good point. I would say is that as the previous films, right? And what I'm going to say is
Captain America was guff.
No, see, I don't think it was, right? I think that the first half of Captain America is very good, right? It loses its way, but I still thought it overall was decent. I liked Thor for what it was. Thought it was a good, fun film. I didn't think I'd like Thor. I didn't see Captain America when it came out. I didn't see Thor when they came out, right? I just didn't really buy into them, right? I was still licking my wounds from the Captain America of the 1980s, right?
Fucking hell.
But I enjoyed the Captain America film. I think they established the character well. It's just a shame because all the best stuff is when it's in the war.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's in contemporary.
But there's this kind of thing of it's like, like, remember they made a big thing that they got like the power of the gods, and then what did they use it to build? Fucking laser guns. Yeah. It's like, bad guy book, rule 101, must build laser guns to be an efficient bad guy. And I thought Hugo Weaving was really well cast as the Red Skull.
But he's very
criminally underused.
But the rumour is he's the other villain. They know that there's another villain in the Avengers, another main villain. People are saying that they think it's the Red Skull. The point that I'm making is that I think because Marvel has been for the most part so on the ball, to me anyway, right? I mean, the films aren't masterpieces or anything like that, right? But they have been so on the ball. What's interesting is that DC has not been, right? Except for the Batman films, you know. I don't think any of the Marvel films hold a candle to The Dark Knight. You know, I really don't. Can you think of any of them? I like Iron Man. I like the first Iron Man. I mean, I like most of them.
I wouldn't say any of the Marvel ones were on the same degree. Not even the 90s Fantastic Four.
Oh, no, that's
I mean, they might as well not make both these films.
Oh, God bless Roger Corman.
Fucking hell, I know. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any Marvel films that come close.
But the point is, although we're saying that the film has to establish itself, I think that it bodes well that they do have a backdrop there for, a backstory there for people to go to if they want to, as long as it doesn't rely on it. I think it's still a good thing, right?
Plus point for Dark Knight, Tom Hardy. Now a lot of people are saying, oh, Tom Hardy, he's not looking ripped enough. Honestly, Tom Hardy could fucking rip your face off, so shut up. Tom Hardy. It's fucking TOM. Don't try and make me look out to be learning impaired more than I am. Right, Tom Hardy, brilliant actor, got a lot of physical presence about him, and I think he will be good as Bane. It looked like, as you said initially to me, that they've bulked him up like with CGI later on, But the thing is, I don't think it's unrealistic to think that he could break Christian Bale. Christian Bale's a big guy.
Yeah.
But Tom Hardy's fucking stacked as well,
Yeah.
and I think it's obviously remember as well. Bane was always like a really intellectual character as well.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Batman's equal intellectually and physically,
and that's how he broke him in Nightfall, because he ran him round doing various things, and I think that's what we'll see in this. Yeah. Batman goes to the end of his tether, and that's why I think you've seen those little bits with like Commissioner Gordon in his deathbed. I think he's got involved in it, and obviously Alfred as well, going, I swore to
it's
protect
set
you.
8 years after the Dark Knight, isn't it? Something
and
like
I
that.
think he's
so
just
a lot of shit's went down.
Yeah, and I think that as a result of that, but obviously they're talking about as well that they've redubbed Tom Hardy.
I hope so, because I was about to say that. And can I add one to the Dark Knight?
Go ahead.
Then, and it would be fucking voice, right? It's the one thing that detracts from the Dark Knight, especially, but to me Batman Begins to a degree as well. Michael Keaton get Batman's voice spot on. It was sinister. It was supernatural.
Yeah.
Menacing. Whereas
plus amazing facial expression sometimes.
It's just incredible. I think Christian Bale's a brilliant Batman, but I think that really and I think it's got to be down to Nolan. Nolan's obviously pushed the voice in the Dark Knight, and it was
maybe it was a studio. It's
it
hard
was
to
really
say these things,
it was funny. That's the problem with it. There's
so
the end of
irony.
it. The end of it where the Joker's like going up against Batman, and he's like, "These people just showed you," but and you're
because you were the best of us. Sorry, the breast of us. You were the best of us. You were the best of us, Harvey.
And
we decided to act weak.
I just hope that's not not
Anish.
there. Do you know what I mean? Because it really does my head in.
Now, because we've done a double positive on the Dark Knight, can I pop in a negative?
No, because that was a negative.
All right. Oh, fuck.
Fucking voice. You need
to
come up with something for the Avengers now.
Positive or negative.
Negative about
no vision. I don't mean that in like a long term thing. No vision, but Vision.
Is that not Daredevil?
Vision the android was fucking brilliant. So no Vision, no Scarlet Witch. Now I can live without Quicksilver. I can live without who else was it? There was Hank Pym, the Giant Man, and those were the kind of original set. The Vision was just a fucking brilliant character. Like
I don't know much about Marvel, I have to say that.
I'll lend you some stuff that I've got kicking about. Vision was an android that was created by Ultron. Ultron was always kicking the shite out the Avengers. Like basically this killer robot, and he created Vision, and Vision turned against him because he had like a higher brain power, and he said, "What you're doing is naughty." So Vision came back to him. Fuck off, right? But the idea, the Vision killed Ultron by making him question Asimov's rules.
Right,
and
right, you're ruining it for me.
Right, sorry,
you're actually ruining it for me.
So yeah, Vision the android, super fast, strong as fuck, had laser eyes, could punch fuck out of anybody. She'd have it. Scarlet Witch looked good, had a good costume, had sparkly powers.
Sparkly powers.
And they should have had her in it. But then again, where do they fit? Where does a fucking flying android from space fit in to their lineup?
Well, was that not the whole thing though, where like Thor was made to be like an alien rather than
Thor still comes from Asgard.
But he's like a sort of interdimensional being rather than. I'm not talking.
So Vision could still potentially come from that, but Loki and Thor still come from Asgard. So they're the only stretches. If you think about it, Incredible Hulk's created by science. Iron Man is. Captain America. There's science involved in Black Widow's hair.
That's a good. But that's a good point. That's a good point here, right? Realism.
Yeah.
To a degree, like in terms of the Dark Knight, it's the one thing that Nolan's done, which is great. He's added a. What I would say is the films have an internal realism. The people that seem to think that they are overtly realistic, and they're just not. Do you know what I mean? But like there's an internal realism to them. There is this feeling that this is far more grounded in reality. You know what realism means.
Yeah.
Whereas, do you think that I think the Avengers sort of lends itself more to like bubblegum filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, like sort of just fun. But I think that audiences now need more than that from a superhero film. So there's going to have to be, and again, I think
No
Joss
one has
Whedon-
set the benchmark.
There's going to, but then there's this other thing where people say that not every superhero has to be Batman. They don't have to have a moral choice. They don't have to be struggling in some way. Like you don't have to make them like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be my problems with that. One thing I would say for Dark Knight, what the fuck is this new bat pot? And this new bat. I don't even know what to call it. Batwing,
basically.
It looks fucking horrible. It obviously looks like it's meant to come out of the tumbler.
Yeah.
But the stuff I've seen of it looks fucking hellish. It's really
Uh-huh.
badly designed. And again, that's where points where Nolan's tried to push the realism too far, and the design of the tumbler.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind the tumbler too much. The bat pod apparently just does not fucking work.
No.
Like it physically does work, but like as a device, it can't turn. It's like the turning circle of it's fucking hellish. So like it's really impractical. Which it's obviously just been designed like that. But the bat pod, I think, just looks fucking horrible.
You just cannot beat the Batmobile from the Burton films. I mean,
All the Burton designs though. The
Batwing.
bat ski, the bat wing, and the Batmobile from the original Burton were all
Yeah.
fucking brilliantly designed.
But I think that
But I think
there's only one problem with the I don't know what would you call it, the third thing in Batman Returns, like
the bat jet ski is the bat ski boat,
right?
But it's literally called the bat
Right.
ski boat.
Have you noticed that when he goes to come out of it, that it's too small for him, and that he's crouched in like that, he's hidden.
I never saw that. No.
And then when it watch for it next time in Batman Returns, and then the thing like the roof opens and he sort of stretches out.
Alright, I never noticed that.
But
that's not too practical of everyone
Yeah.
standing around punch him. Let me get down.
God, I'm really in the mood to watch Batman Returns again. But I think that, I don't know, maybe, see, this is the thing, you get like all these fanboys sort of moaning about Marvel and DC, maybe like it's just ridiculous doing that, and maybe we can't really even compare these two things, because while they're steeped in sort of the comic book world, they are their own thing, You've got one with a more serious tone and one with a more sort of, although I'll get crucified by Marvel fanboys, me saying that there's not a level of seriousness to this, and obviously there is, but to me, Batman was always the most sort of enduring comic book hero.
Here's a thing to summarise then. To start to summarise. Hopes. The Vision. Turns up. Saves the day. Your turn.
Batman sets Catwoman on fire in the first 3 minutes.
Right, but do you mean that she dies from that, or her clothes are just burned off? She's she's not in the film.
She's dead.
What about if she's kicked off a rooftop?
I'll settle for that.
Right, that's probably more likely. To lots of slow-mo of Scadule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what Scarlett Johansson's called?
That's what I call
Scadule?
Scadule, it's quick.
Sounds like a disease.
She is in a way. She gets in my mind.
She's amazing and Lost in Translation. I think that's the nicest she ever was, when she was just really natural.
Short as fuck. Sorry if you're listening to this, Scarlett, which I very much doubt. I'm still available. Slow-mo of Scadule is essential.
Aye.
That's got to be fucking in it. Because she is heavily bosomed for her size. Isn't she? Nice bum as well.
Yeah.
That's her superpowers. Right, okay. What
That's her superpowers. What about Hawkeye's ass?
That's
It's looking good. Right, okay, what other hopes for The Dark Knight Rises? I hope that Gary Oldman is Robin. Right, that's what no.
That would get really fucking thick. Now, the talk was that, what's his name?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt
was going to be Robin, but
Aye.
then Christian Bale said, no, you can't fucking do that, otherwise I'll leave the film.
Well,
and Gordon-Levitt turned up on the set dressed as Robin, And they went, sorry mate, you're going to have to go home. He was like, really?
And then he cried.
And he just kind of went away.
I tell you something
Right.
though. I think there's a possibility that he will be Batman in it at some
Take
point.
over.
Aye.
Well, remember when Batman got his back broken,
Yeah.
Azrael took over for him.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting if he did
And
take up
in the
manor.
trailer, there is the whole thing with the R,
Yeah,
which is the Robin R.
right.
Uh,
Of Rise. Well, it'd be interesting if either... Right, so the two most likely contenders for taking it over are
Gary
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Alfred. Now, if Alfred was to take over being
The Harry
Batman
Brown.
for a while... Yeah, that's right. She was only 16.
she was only 16. She was only 16
Right.
years old. Right.
Oh, right.
She was
I've not
only
really got much hope for Avengers. I hope it's good.
Right,
I
well,
hope
let's
it's
swap.
good.
Let's swap. Let's swap.
Hope
Then.
it's good.
You do one. You do one for.
Visually, this video won't be too arresting.
I hope it focuses on
Just put brackets, tits.
focuses on.
Tits and ass. Teeny. Good.
That's awesome. I hope it focuses on Captain. I know it won't.
And Captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it won't.
Do you think he'll be the leader?
It'll be Iron Man and Friends, but like, yeah, like that's the whole thing, and I mean, Captain America to me is a character that could be really, really involving and capture people's imagination if it was done properly. I mean, I think if they did I know they killed him off because he was
Kill two off?
they killed Captain America off in the
Right.
comics because they thought that he was, people were basically becoming anti-American and like just like they did with Superman, he like renounced his US
Yeah.
citizenship and all that.
Was this in the Civil War series?
No, this is just recently looking at because of US politics, but foreign politics. But I think that if you had a Captain America who was fighting not only like enemies of liberty outside of America, if you know what I mean, if he was fighting it within.
Say,
as
for
well,
example,
we could-
an enemy called Al Qaeda.
Aye.
Something like that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think we've covered all the bases, haven't we?
Most of it. The one thing I would say is, remember at the end of Iron Man 2, they said you're not suitable to be in the Avengers Initiative to Iron Man, and they were like, right, fair dues, and you were like, that's setting up as a really poor twist because you know Tony Stark's not going to let anyone else use his Iron Man suit with the exception of Rhodey, and they're not going to put War Machine in it, so you pretty much knew he was
then
coming back. And then in the trailer,
They're all
they
fighting
do
each
that.
other.
Yeah, no, but in the trailer, well, that's right. He says he doesn't. Play
That's
well
what
with others.
happens in the comics, doesn't it? They often
Yeah.
all fight each other.
But the thing is, you've got like 5 headstrong guys in it, and I think it's like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America fighting them. But to be fair, Thor would probably just kick the shit out of all of them,
the Hulk.
with the exception of the Hulk. But the Hulk's not fighting them. I don't think Banner would.
But he doesn't. He doesn't.
He doesn't control it. Yeah, but I don't think up until that point, unless they deliberately brought out the Hulk.
I want to see the Hulk
pumping Scarlett Johansson. The Hulk getting down with
Black
Scarlett
Widow.
Johansson.
Black
just,
Widow.
Just absolutely ruining her. That would make my day.
Well.
But then how could we ever compete with her?
Well, suffocating Hawkeye.
That's right. 2 birds, 1 stone. Right, well,
I think that covers
I
it.
think that covers it. Well, I hope that's been informative to you.
I
And,
enjoyed this.
thanks very much.
Oh,
You mean the
Yeah,
talking about not me? All
No,
right,
no,
okay.
I
Under
always
the
enjoy-
table we're up to
I'll
something.
always enjoy your company, sir.
Okay, well I think we'll summarise that. What film are you most looking forward to? Dark Knight Rises, I'm
Dark
assuming.
Knight Rises. Aye.
Cool.
But
Dark Knight
I'm
Rises.
looking forward to the Avengers. Big Whedon fan, and I really enjoyed all the films.
I think they'll both get my money, but
Yeah.
I've got my money on which one's going to be better.
Which one do you know? Dark Knight
Dark Knight
Rises.
Rises.
Okay, right.
See ya.
Bye.